Welcome back. In this video, we're going to practice our vocabulary skills, and on this first page, we are going to focus entirely on synonyms. If you look right below the word box, you'll see our rule for the day. A synonym is a word that means the same or almost the same as another word. Knowing synonyms is incredibly helpful because it makes our reading and writing much more interesting. Let's look at today's vocabulary words and see what they mean. You can follow along with the sentences in the middle of the page. When you splash in the water, you slosh. If the edge of your shirt sleeve is worn out and stringy, it is a frayed cuff. When you look up and it's a cloudy day, the sky is overcast. Something very, very large, like a giant elephant, is mammoth. If you are really, really angry, you are furious. When you help people out, you assist them. A task is a specific job or chore you have to do. When you lurk, you wait around or hide secretly. If you circle the Earth, like a satellite does, you orbit it. And finally, take a look at the picture on the right. That squeaky chalk is making an annoying, bothersome noise. Now that we know what these words mean, let's look at the directions for your assignment. For part A, you will see 8 of our vocabulary words. For each one, I want you to write down your absolute best idea for a synonym. Try to think of a word that means the exact same thing. After you write your word down, you can use a dictionary or a thesaurus to check your ideas and see if you were right. For part B, you will read the vocabulary word printed in bold on the left. Then, look at the 3 choices next to it and circle the 2 words that mean the same thing as the bold word. For example, for number 1, furious, you need to decide which 2 words out of upset, content, and mad are synonyms for furious. Now it's your turn to work. Go ahead and pause the video right here so you can finish the problems in part A and part B. Take your time and do your best work. When you are all finished with this page, just unpause the video, and we will move on to the next page together. Great job on those synonyms. Let's move right along to the second page of our worksheet. Today we are traveling to the sunny Sahara to practice our punctuation. If you look at the top right of the page, you'll see our focus, punctuating statements, questions, and exclamations. And right below the title, next to that big arrow, we have 4 very important rules for writing sentences. Let's read them together. First, every sentence begins with a capital letter, no exceptions. Second, a statement ends with a period. A statement is just a regular sentence that gives you information or tells you a fact. Third, a question ends with a question mark. You use this when you are asking something and looking for an answer. And fourth, an exclamation ends with an exclamation point. You use this when you are showing strong feeling or excitement. Now let's look at your main assignment. The directions say, write each sentence correctly. Below that, you have 5 sentences all about the Sahara Desert, but whoever wrote them made some big mistakes. They forgot all of their capital letters at the beginning, and they forgot every single ending mark. Your job is to rewrite each sentence perfectly on the blank line. You'll need to look at the first word and make sure you give it a capital letter. Then, you need to read the sentence out loud in your head and decide what kind of punctuation it needs at the end. For example, look at number 2. Do people live in the Sahara Desert? Ask yourself, is that just giving me a fact, or is it asking me something? Use your detective skills to choose the right ending mark. Oh, and watch out for number 5. That's 138 degrees Fahrenheit, which means degrees Fahrenheit. That is incredibly hot. Finally, look all the way down at the bottom left corner, where the little light bulb is. I have an extra challenge for you. For this part, I want you to take out your own notebook. In your notebook, write down a brand new sentence, but I want you to purposefully make exactly 2 mistakes in it. Maybe you forget a capital letter, or maybe you use a period when you should have used a question mark. All right, you know what to do. Go ahead and pause the video right here so you can rewrite the 5 sentences and do the light bulb challenge in your notebook. Take your time, and when you are completely finished, just unpause the video, and we will move on to the next page together. 3. You are doing fantastic. For this worksheet, we are focusing on something very important for our writing, topic sentences. Look at the top of the page next to the little paperclip. It says each paragraph should have a topic sentence. It tells the reader what the paragraph is mainly about. Think of a topic sentence like the captain of a paragraph. It guides the rest of the sentences and tells them what the main idea is. Usually, it's the very first sentence. Let's look at the instructions. In part A, you have a short book report about a great story called Stellaluna. First, read the paragraph carefully and draw a big circle around the topic sentence. Remember, look for the sentence that introduces the whole idea. But wait, there's another job to do here. The writer forgot some capital letters. Just like we practiced on the last page, every single sentence must start with a capital letter. Scan the paragraph to find the mistakes and use your proofreading marks to fix them. You can do this by drawing 3 little lines under the letter that needs to be capitalized, or by crossing it out and writing the uppercase letter above it. Next, let's look at Part B. This is a book report about where the wild things are. But oh no, it's completely missing its topic sentence. Read the paragraph about Max acting like a monster and his wild adventures. When you are finished reading, think about what the main idea of that whole paragraph is. Then, use your own words to write a brand new topic sentence on the blank lines provided. Finally, for Part C, you are going to be a grammar detective one more time. Go right back up to that same paragraph from Part B and look closely at the beginnings of the sentences. The writer made the same mistakes here. Find the sentences that start with a lowercase letter and use your proofreading marks to fix them. Alright, you know the drill. Go ahead and pause the video right here so you can complete parts A, B, and C. Take your time, write neatly, and make sure every sentence starts with a capital letter. When you are all finished with this page, just unpause the video and we will move on to the next one. Welcome to the next page. For this activity, we are going to use everything we've learned to write super story summaries. Right at the top, it tells us that a good summary gives us the most important parts of a story without making us read the whole entire book. It's almost like a movie trailer, but for a story. First, you'll need to pick a book or a story that you know really well and write the title on the top line. Next, let's look at step 1, the setup. Every great story needs characters and a setting. On line 1, write down who the main people, animals, or creatures are. On line 2, write down the setting, which means where and when the story takes place. Then, we move on to step 2, the action. Here is where you map out what actually happens. Remember, keep it simple. You only want to write down the biggest, most important events. For line 3, write down how the story starts and what the main problem is. For line 4, which is the middle or the climax, write down the most exciting part or the big event that happens. And for line 5, the end, explain how the problem is solved and how the story finishes up. Finally, we have step 3, put it all together. You are going to take all your awesome notes from steps 1 and 2 and turn them into a perfect, complete summary paragraph right there on the page. Take your time and use your absolute best handwriting. Before you say you are finished, look at that very important checklist at the bottom. This is where you get to use all the skills we practiced today. Check the boxes to make sure you started with a strong topic sentence, wrote in complete sentences with capital letters, and used the correct punctuation marks at the end of every sentence. Before you start writing your own summary, let's look at an example together to see exactly how it's done. For this example, we are looking at the classic story, The 3 Little Pigs. Let's see how they tackled step 1, the setup. For the characters, they simply wrote down 3 little pigs and a big bad wolf. For the setting, they noted that it takes place in a forest where the pigs build their own houses. Next is step 2, the action. Notice how they didn't write every single detail, but just focused on the main events. For the beginning, they wrote that the 3 pig brothers decide to build houses out of straw, sticks, and bricks, and that a hungry wolf wants to eat them. For the middle, or climax, they summarized the most exciting part. The wolf blows down the straw house and the stick house, causing those 2 pigs to run to their brother's brick house to hide. Finally, for the end, they explained that the wolf tries as hard as he can, but he cannot blow down the strong brick house, so the pigs are safe. Now, let's look at step 3, put it all together. They took all of those bullet points and turned them into a fantastic paragraph. They started with a strong topic sentence. The 3 Little Pigs is a story about 3 brothers who build houses in the forest to stay safe. Then, they used transition words like first, then, and finally to smoothly connect the beginning, middle, and end into one complete story. They finished the paragraph by stating that the wolf tries to blow down the brick house, but it is too strong, and the pigs live happily ever after. If you are having trouble thinking of a story to summarize for your own worksheet, don't worry. We have a whole list of fairy tales and fables you can choose from. You could pick Little Red Riding Hood, Cinderella, The Tortoise and the Hare, or Jack and the Beanstalk. Other great choices are The Ugly Duckling, Hansel and Gretel, Snow White, Beauty and the Beast, or The Little Mermaid. You could even choose a classic fable, like Boy Who Cried Wolf, Lion and the Mouse, or Stone Soup. Now it's your turn. Pick your favorite story from the list, or use a favorite book of your own, and try following the steps, just like the example. Go ahead and pause the video to write your super story summary. Take your time, use your best handwriting, and don't forget your checklist.